Hello and welcome back to another episode of Rosewater, where I guess we're gonna charter that ship and get over to Canary. No, what's the island called? I don't remember. Gannet. Oh, I see a G. Okay.
Nothing fancy, but it looks seaworthy.
It does.
Good evening.
Evening to you.
You drive a hard bargain, but we're not giving up. Here's the money.
All right. The minute I drop you off, I'm gone.
How are we supposed to get back?
I'll come back for you. At dawn. If the ghosts haven't killed you before then, that is.
We'll take our chances. Let's go.
Sure. How will you know if we're dead or not, though?
Owing to the island's
What? Come on, don't pop up stuff.
reputation as the accursed haunt of assorted malignant spooks and spirits, it has cost us a comely copper to induce one of the credulous locals to transport us here. I do have to admit that this place presents a rather eerie aspect. It's easy enough to imagine ghosts drifting along the ramparts of the ruined fort, or floating among the after images of the lighthouse beam. But there's only one ghost I'm interested in finding here.
Remember, I'll be back at sunrise. Then I'm heading home whether you're on my boat or not.
Look, there's smoke coming from the chimney of that cabin.
Yeah.
I guess this island isn't all that abandoned. Stay alert.
Maybe the ghosts just like it cozy. Alright, let's have a look.
Hello? Anyone home? No one here. We can do some prowling.
Alright. This. Very promising in my mind.
Locked. Because of course it is.
Shoot it open. What else can we look at?
It's keeping this place nice and warm.
But the door's open.
A spare lantern.
If you take it.
All things considered, I could be looking a lot worse.
Same.
Feel like I could lie down and sleep for weeks. Maybe I will when
Same.
we're through. It's getting late. I hope we can make that dawn rendezvous. How rustic.
Very rustic indeed. Okay.
It's got a dragon on it, but no indication of what tea is inside.
Dragon tea. Oh, it looks like an urn. So maybe it's not even tea.
A box of chamomile tea.
Mm-hmm.
Bai Ji Guan. Some kind of Chinese tea, I guess.
4-leaf.
Oolong. I think I've had this stuff before.
Same.
This one's not labeled.
Okay, why are we making tea again? Okay, this one we can take and pick up. These we can just pick up.
Feels mostly full. Feels nearly full. Nearly empty. Running pretty low. Hey, there's something rattling around in here. A small silver key. I'll just hang on to it. I'll just take a little bit.
Okay.
Locked. Because of
Okay.
course it is.
I mean, I thought you would just make the connection yourself, but I'll help you out there.
Here we are. It's empty, except for a couple of bullets. I'll take those.
That's weird. Put the tea in the bullets.
What a peculiar decoration.
Is that upside down or downside up? I'm not sure. One of them is bad luck, right?
Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
Pretty spooky place, this island.
I'll say. I can see why people think it's haunted.
You don't believe in ghosts, do you?
I don't know, but we should be careful. Make sure you don't whistle or anything, okay?
What? Why not?
Just trust me.
Now I really want to whistle.
Hey, Nadine. This island gives me an uneasy feeling.
It's not the most welcoming of places, but I don't think we have much to fear.
That's true, probably. Okay, have we looked at everything? Not this lamp, but I think everything else.
If this is lit, it means someone's been here recently.
I mean, the
But
fire's also going.
Where are they now?
They wouldn't like there wouldn't be. I mean, the fire would like keep going for a bit, but this is like a roaring fire. This is not like an old like yesterday's fire. You know, it's not embers. Anyway, I guess let's look at the fort or the ruin thereof. Guy here.
Not another step. There's a guard. Stay quiet.
Not another step to immediately take more steps.
Odd device. Looks like it's meant to be spoken into. The guard keeps drinking from this cup.
Are you gonna put chamomile tea in there and he's gonna fall asleep?
A handful of dried chamomile flowers.
Or something? That doesn't make sense.
Not putting that in his drink.
What else could we put in this drink though? Bullets?
Just some standard revolver bullets.
Means howling up here, huh?
Not now. I don't want the guard to hear us.
You're speaking out loud though, aren't you?
Looks like we found the island's inhabitant. What exactly is he guarding?
This trapdoor thingy. Okay, how do we poison this guy? I don't see another way forward right now.
Someone must keep this lighthouse running.
Yeah. There's usually someone working.
Bet this fort was impressive in its day. It's a crumbling ruin now. Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
Any ideas for getting us past that guard?
Actually, yes. He doesn't look too tough. I could probably scare him off with a little gunplay. Only trouble is, I'm out of bullets.
Actually, I've already got some.
Great. Shall we go ahead with the plan?
I don't know. Let's see if I can think of something else.
Okay, let me know if you change your mind.
We don't know
Hey,
how many
Nadine.
people there are.
How are we supposed to get past that guard?
I'm not sure. I wish I hadn't sold my kit.
Okay. I guess it has to be the gunplay then. That's annoying.
Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
Unless... But there's no... I don't know, we can't poison him. I guess that would have been the other way if we had the kit still, but we sorted. So it's either that or that, right? Sell the gun, sell the med kit. Because you can't, like... do anything.
This one's...
But you probably would have had some, like, sedative or something, and then we just would have put that in the tea, or I don't know. That's a shame. I don't like this plan,
Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
but I feel like I don't have any other options.
Okay, let's stick to your plan and scare the guard off.
Okay. Huh?
I don't get paid enough for this.
If your aim is that good, and you can shoot the cup out of his hand and the head off his head,
Nice job, Danny. Now to get those doors open. Somehow.
couldn't you have also shot the Pinkertons that are not called Pinkertons? Just shoot the guns out of their hands or something? I feel like you could have helped more. Anyway,
Odd device. Looks like it's meant to be spoken into.
yeah, maybe we should speak into it.
It's a small slot. Looks like something flat and rectangular would fit. It fits. Quite an elaborate contraption.
Sure.
Quite an I have a feeling pulling that lever will make something important happen.
Same. Get that same feeling. Wait, where's this? Also, no, wait. I want to pick up the hat. Can I pick up the hat?
I'm surprised this thing is still intact. There's a lot of broken glass in here. What's this? One container hasn't been broken. I might be able to use it.
So for the tea thing too. Maybe.
An empty
Yeah, I think that's part of that. Maybe? I
I
don't
think
know.
a bed of hot coals would be comfier.
It looks pretty bad,
Just
yeah.
a dirty old sheet. And I see no reason to get any closer.
Fair.
There's a metal drain in the floor. Nothing, just some muck.
You want taking the muck?
A nice mountainside landscape. Cheery.
Is it? Looks kind of dreary to me.
This place is falling apart.
It is. Alright, so there's nothing else here, right? Yeah, I guess I'll go. Like, I'm gonna just look at the trapdoor and then pull the lever. Maybe.
Massive doors. Do they lead underground?
Probably don't need above ground. I want to pick up the hats. It's rude that I can't.
Wow. That's something.
This
Sure.
is getting stranger by the minute.
You're telling me.
I don't know.
Don't know where this thing came from, but it seems important.
Came from down there. The question is, how did it move? Because there's nothing like putting it.
Better take this card back. Don't want to be stuck down there.
Fair enough, I guess.
All right, folks. I think this is it. Wherever this takes us, I have a feeling Dr. Clark will be there.
But will we be able to come back up once we find him?
I sure hope so.
Maybe one of us should stay up here. Just in case.
There's no telling what we'll find down there. We should all stick together.
Okay. Let's go then.
I mean, yeah, leaving someone up here with the card would have maybe been a good idea. Because they could have called the elevator. But it's probably hard to communicate. Well, there's the communication device thingy too, who knows? Yeah, you can like talk there. It would have been used for... Maybe if we had
What
Phil
in the ether
still,
is this place?
he would have stayed.
It seems that was a one-way ride.
Damn! I knew one of us should have stayed up there.
So now we're looking for two things. Clark and the exit.
What? We weren't expecting, who are you?
I could easily ask you the same thing.
I'm one of Dr. Clark's lab assistants.
I see. Could you take us to him?
Hang on. You still haven't said why you're here.
Do we lie?
We've come on General Laporte's orders.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Right, come with me.
Little lie never hurt anyone, right?
Goodness, this place is really something.
I'm glad you think so.
What's that big glowing thing down there?
That's our etheric generator. Powers most everything down here. You get used to the noise. Follow me, please.
I don't think I would ever get used to this noise. It's a pretty bad noise.
I'll just be a moment.
Do you think he believes us?
I think we're okay so far. Just follow my lead.
I suppose the deception was necessary. I hope we don't come to regret it.
Same.
I suppose General Laporte's curiosity was too much for him to bear. I told him he could come for a demonstration next week. Instead, he sends 3 proxies. I will never understand that man's rationale. But you're here now, so you may as well see what we've got. I'm Dr. Bennett Clark, by the way. And you are?
I don't know. I don't like any of these lies. We're definitely non-new hires on the project because we know nothing and we're like fools. Safety inspectors. We don't look like safety inspectors at all.
I'm Miss Leger. This is Miss Redbird and Mr. Luo. We are General Laporte's press corps, here to learn about your research.
The General wants to inform the press now? Already? After everything we've gone through to keep it quiet. I swear the man changes his mind more often than most change their breeches. Alright, let's go have a look at Project Rosewater. I'm afraid the testing chamber only one of you will have to stay out here with Joshua. But you may observe the test through the window. As I said, we weren't expecting anyone until next week. The prototype still needs refinement. Nevertheless, we have made a breakthrough.
Prototype of what, exactly?
You mean the General didn't tell you? Why am I not surprised?
Because you
There on
believe
the tripod,
anything.
The etheric pistol. The whole purpose and object of Project Rosewater. Juliet, is the prototype ready for demonstration?
I believe so, Doctor. But who are we demonstrating it for?
Miss Leger and her companions. The team sent by General Laporte. Now, please, do us the honors.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, so, you know, of course they're making a gun.
Oh my.
Whoa.
We have managed to confine the chaotic etheric discharge to a very narrow, focused beam over a distance of up to 6 meters, without significant dissipation or redirection of energy, reaching nearly 68.2% efficiency. This results in complete vaporization of most organic targets, with only minimal atmospheric disturbances in the immediate vicinity.
I don't like this.
You might be feeling warmth, or a slight tingling sensation on your skin, and a change of pressure in your ears. Perfectly harmless.
I don't know.
Oh, and if you are experiencing any alteration to your color vision, I assure you that is also completely temporary.
Everything
I
is temporary.
taste purple. Does anyone else taste purple?
There are sometimes minor synesthetic side effects. That too will pass, of course. There is plenty of room for improvement in range, energy efficiency, fine-tuning of the beam's intensity and area of effect, user-friendliness and safety. But, as proof of concept, this irrefutably demonstrates that the principle is sound, and that it can be scaled up. The rest is iteration.
Well, thank you for that thorough explanation.
Now I'm afraid you must excuse me. I have some time-sensitive tasks I must attend to. If only I'd been forewarned of your arrival, I might have made arrangements. In any event, if you have questions, I or my assistants can answer them. Just be mindful not to touch anything.
I'll touch everything. Also, there could have easily been another person here. I don't know why this is limited to 4. I don't know. Okay, what are we doing now? I have no idea what we should be doing.
Looks like some demented puzzle box. The lab assistant's desk. She's written some notes, but I have no idea what they mean. Flashing lights and other displays. I can't tell if it means something or is just meant to look pretty.
Probably the former, but who knows?
It appears to be a charging device. There's a small round socket at the top.
Maybe we should steal the gun and then shoot everyone with it.
Hey, Nadine. I never would have guessed a place like this existed if we hadn't seen it with our own eyes.
It certainly explains all the stories about strange lights and ghosts. Perhaps the island's reputation was the reason they chose it to house this facility.
Pardon me.
Sorry, can't talk right now. If you've got any questions, ask Dr. Clark.
He said he would answer questions.
So this is Project Rosewater.
Why is it called that?
It's displaying all sorts of numbers and readings I can't begin to comprehend. Dr. Clark?
Yes, what is it?
Just how long have you been down in this facility?
8 months. We've made extraordinary progress, as you can see. I admit, I had some misgivings when I first learned what would be required of us, but it turns out the isolation has done wonders for our productivity.
So who built this whole underground complex anyway? I'm guessing it wasn't always a secret ethericity lab.
I'm not entirely sure. Apart from the additional equipment I specified, everything was already prepared for us when I arrived in El Presidio. General Laporte isn't exactly forthcoming with information he considers irrelevant.
Do you know much about General Laporte?
Not a great deal, no. I only met him when he summoned me to El Presidio. We speak occasionally, but only about professional matters. Just as well, I suppose. His interests don't align particularly well with mine.
So your relationship is purely professional?
It's an acquaintanceship at best.
Why did you agree to work on this project?
Why? I just experienced the worst disaster of my life. My work was first ridiculed and then outlawed, and I was exiled to a barren wasteland. The only prospect I could see was to leave the country and start everything over. But then I received General Laporte's offer. I could continue my work in safety and solitude. Everything I needed would be provided. No investors, no reporters, no loonies, no distractions. I'm certain anyone in my position would have jumped at the opportunity.
Who came up with Project Rosewater?
My understanding is that this work is for the benefit of the Vespuccian army. General Laporte is in charge of the project. Everything goes through him. Other than the facility guards, I've had contact with no one else.
How much longer until Project Rosewater is finished?
We're nearing the end of this phase. If all goes well, we should have a stable, fully functioning prototype by the end of the year.
What exactly is the goal of this project?
Well, once the etheric pistol is complete, we'll begin experimenting with larger caliber weapons.
Etheric rifles?
Yes, and whatever else the General sees fit to pursue.
Not good.
Where does it stop?
You'd have to ask him that question.
How did this project get the name Rosewater?
My idea. Sentimental, really. I suppose I had gotten attached to my dry and dusty little desert lab. After all, Rosewater was my refuge when I lost everything else. I just made an offhand comment to that effect one day while discussing arrangements with the General. And he said, "Well, in that case, why don't you bring Rosewater with you?" When I found out he made that the official title of the project, it made me smile, I'll admit.
Just how did you come to discover the existence of ethericity?
Now that's a story. When I was a boy, I read about the ancient Greeks and their studies of the heavens. Certain texts made obscure references to observations of energy subsisting in the atmosphere. Something entirely different from electricity. The idea seized my imagination and sparked my passion for the pursuit of ethericity. I developed an instrument that I called the aetherometer in order to probe the atmospheric potential. Imagine my delight when I discovered that ethericity was in fact real. Unfortunately, the aetherometer has been appropriated by so-called spiritualists who believe they can use it to talk with the dead.
I'd like to know your perspective on the Lamplight City Expo incident.
That was a dark day. Everything I worked for came crashing down in a matter of seconds. Being maligned and ostracized was bad enough, but I can still hear the screams of those 15 poor souls. If anything good can be said to have come from that horrible event, it taught me that nothing in this life is guaranteed.
I don't know.
What inspired you to become a scientist?
Trite as it may sound, I wanted to make the world better. I had a fortunate birth. My parents were able to pay for my studies in Paris, which is where I earned my doctorate in physics. But even as a boy, I still saw plenty of terrible things going on around me. Others seemed not to see, but I did. Upon my return to Vespuccia, I began teaching and conducting independent research. My only explicit goal was to make some sort of discovery or development that would serve the advancement of mankind. I would like to believe I've achieved that.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Making guns, huh? I don't know. They're not gonna let me walk in there, right?
I don't think I'm allowed in there. At least, not while there's someone watching.
Only one way to find out, though. I'm also not gonna be able to snoop around in here, right?
Who knows what they keep in there? Not while Clark's around.
Okay. Makes sense.
That was really something.
So Laporte's got Clark developing etheric weapons for the military. This throws a wrench in Shaw's plans.
How horrible. Instead of something good to benefit humanity, ethericity is being harnessed to
Yeah.
produce suffering and death. Perhaps Dr. Clark will be open to the idea of leaving this project for something less distasteful.
Perhaps. But I can't just ask him with his assistant right there. Maybe I can get her to leave the testing chamber so I can have a moment alone with Clark. Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
How do you suppose they managed to build a place like this under an island?
Don't know, but whoever did it must be real serious about Dr. Clark's research.
Indeed. It's a toaster.
Some kind of little oven for heating food, I think. This thing is in dire need of repairs.
Maybe I should repair it.
A couple of wires from that food heating device. Some kind of this.
So much stuff to look at. Alright, I don't know how we get Clark out of here, or if we even can.
These tomatoes are thriving. Must be all the exposure to ethericity.
Guess so.
Controls,
weird.
gauges, and dials. Who knows what they're for?
Just move them around, you know? See what happens.
Looks like a more complex version of the console back in Clark's desert lab.
So we should know how to use it.
I can see the testing area.
Yes, that makes sense. Just a window that they look through.
An etheric generator. It's big and loud.
Very American.
There's a card slot next to the door. Seems to be locked. This must be the door to Dr. Clark's quarters.
Oh, we can just go in there. It's fun. Who lives here?
The box is full of odds and ends. Some sewing and personal grooming supplies.
Steal a door.
A set of encyclopedias. The only indication of time down here.
Time's fake anyway.
You could almost think you were in some nice hotel and forget you were in a secret, illegal underground laboratory beneath a ruined fort on a cursed, haunted island.
Almost.
Just some clothes and a couple of storage boxes.
Alright. Not much else then.
The lab assistants share a room? Not sure if that's progressive or scandalous.
Why are we here? I don't know.
It doesn't fit.
That's a shame. What are you reading?
Hey, can we talk?
Sure. What's on your mind?
Have you been down here long?
Ooh, about 7 months, I think. Without any sunlight, you really lose all sense of time. Sometimes it feels like decades.
No sunlight? You mean you never go outside?
No, of course not. Is this some kind of test? The terms were made very clear when we signed onto this project. We don't break protocol. I do really miss the sun, though. Sometimes I feel like a mushroom down here.
What kind?
How did you become interested in etheric research?
I was already a researcher when I met Dr. Clark, but my field was chemistry. I had dabbled some with etheric experiments after hearing about Clark's research. When I saw him at the Lamplight City Expo, I knew I wanted to work with him, despite what happened. After the dust settled, I approached him about taking me on as an assistant. I got the feeling he was just surprised to still have any support.
Don't you ever get bored here?
Sure, all the time. We've got books, but I've read them all. This is my third time through this one. At least this phase of the project's near completion. Maybe we'll get some time up top before the next one.
Never would have dreamed there was a whole secret facility hidden under this rock in the middle of the bay. Who built it anyway?
The military, I guess. Had to be someone with very deep pockets. Everything was already in place before they moved us in.
What are your thoughts on Project Rosewater?
Honestly, I try not to think about it too much. We're doing important scientific research. I can't deny that.
But
Just because our focus is on weapons doesn't mean our results can't be used for other applications.
I mean, whatever you need to tell yourself, I guess.
How do you like working with Dr. Clark?
It has its moments, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't stressful. He gets wound up sometimes, which I understand. But other times he picks strange things to get cross about.
Like what?
Well, his biggest bugbear is food in the testing chamber. I made the mistake of taking my lunch in there once, and he just about had a conniption. Cleanliness is one thing, but this is a whole other level.
Okay.
So Clark dislikes food in the testing chamber, does he?
Dislikes? More like detests.
Know anything about General Laporte?
Nah.
I saw him once, right at the start of the project. Didn't talk to him. He seemed kind of intense. He's the one running the show, as far as I can tell. Beyond that, the man's a total mystery.
Alright.
Okay, see you around.
Bye.
So we put the tomato in there. And then, I don't know. He's gonna get mad. And then, I don't know. I just don't know where to put it, though.
This is the biggest, juiciest tomato I have ever seen. A couple of wires from... Clark will see me.
Yeah. How do I distract him then?
I haven't got any questions for the good doctor right now.
Can you distract him?
Hey, Nadine. Think you can occupy Dr. Clark's attention for a few moments?
I can certainly try. Oh, Doctor, could I have a word?
Yes, what is it?
There. Now to watch the fireworks.
Sure. Let's get her in trouble.
What? Miss Montgomery, what is the meaning of this? How many times have I said, no food in the testing chamber?
But
I don't want excuses. Clear it out. Put away the power cell. Done with testing today.
Yes, Dr. Clark.
Okay, power cell comes out of the gun. Goes into the safe thing. The puzzle box. No, goes into here. Well, that's convenient. I thought that was gonna be like a safe thing.
I apologize for that, Miss Leger. But I'm very particular about rules.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Now what though?
Dr. Clark?
Yes, what is it?
Dr. Clark, there's something I need to tell you. We're not really from General Laporte's press corps.
What? Who are you then?
Some folks who are hired by D.W. Shaw to come find you.
The head of Vespuccia Petrol.
The very same.
What does she want with me?
She wants you to help her company pivot from oil to ethericity.
How does she intend to circumvent the ban?
She seems to think it'll be lifted soon, or that she can influence things in that direction.
So she would have me work for VP to generate etheric energy for widespread use?
As an alternative power source, yes. It might even replace coal and oil someday.
Well, that's certainly more appealing than weaponry. But extreme arrangements have been made to develop this project in secret, and at considerable expense, I'm sure. It's not the sort of thing one can just walk away from.
I'm not so sure Laporte is acting in his capacity as a military general with the full backing and authority of the Vespuccian government here. We've seen plenty of things that don't add up. The clandestine nighttime shipments, the hired private agents, the hidden underground base, all the convoluted arrangements here, the fact that all this research is still technically illegal. I think this is all a side gig. Some kind of secret conspiracy running on misappropriated funds.
Yes.
Don't you see? That means he doesn't have power over you. You could expose everything that's going on here. You'd have leverage over him.
I think that means he could send someone to murder me to keep me quiet, and not lose a wink of sleep over it. That's not exactly convincing me to leave.
So you're dead set on staying here? You won't consider Shaw's offer?
I admit it's enticing, but is it worth the risk?
If it's Laporte you're afraid of, I'm sure Shaw can protect you.
Can she? The General is a powerful man. I'm not willing to risk getting on his bad side.
Just pulverize him if you're gone.
Laporte doesn't have to know anything about this. We could fake your death somehow and get you away.
Miss Leger, let not be ridiculous.
If nothing else, don't you want to get back into the world again?
Perhaps, but not badly enough to defy the Vespuccian military.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Still can go in there, right?
I don't think I'm allowed in there. At least, not while there's someone watching.
I don't. Yeah. Also, like you're also not allowed when no one's watching, but you know.
Nothing to say, really. All right there, Danny?
Yep.
Wait, what do we do now? Those are the Ethereum bars from Rosewater, right?
Bars of Aurum.
Aurum, not Ethereum.
Lots of them.
Too much ethericity on my mind.
Can we talk?
I suppose so.
Just how long have you been working down here?
Good question. It's difficult keeping track of time. We're in September, right?
November, actually.
Oh, and it's been longer than I thought. We came down here in March.
That's a while, yeah.
What sparked your interest in etheric research?
I followed Dr. Clark's career from the early days. He was one of the first to begin advancing etheric theory with practical experiments. Not only that, he was getting results. After I graduated from university, I sent him my thesis on the effects of ethericity on plants and animals. I guess that made me one of the few practical researchers out there, too. He wrote back immediately with an offer of employment.
How do you keep from getting bored?
The work is pretty all-consuming, and we don't have much of a social scene down here. Dr. Clark is kind enough to lend us his books to pass the quiet hours.
Do you know who built this place?
I suppose this is an old army base, but Clark's had it fitted with some really state-of-the-art equipment. We're lucky to be so well-resourced.
I was blown away by that demonstration. Figuratively speaking, of course.
Huh. We've been working on it non-stop, but there are a lot of kinks to work out before it'll be field-ready. For instance, we still can't get more than one shot out of each power cell. I suppose in an actual battlefield situation, you'd need to carry around a lot of cells and reload for every shot, like cannonballs. But the power cells are still very difficult to construct, so we only have a few prototypes. We have to recharge them constantly.
Inconvenient.
How long does it normally take to charge one of the power cells?
Around 6 hours.
Wow.
Wow is right. Joshua hooked one up to the etheric generator and discovered that it charged instantly. But Dr. Clark wasn't happy about it.
Why not?
He said it made the power cell unstable. But we didn't have to wait all day for the next trial, and Joshua was even able to get 2 shots out of that one. The overcharge effect is certainly something we should investigate later.
Seems dangerous, though.
Between you and me, doesn't it concern you that ethericity is being weaponized?
Not at all. It's a powerful energy source, and this is one of many practical applications.
Sure, but isn't it better to use it for less destructive purposes?
We live in a dangerous world, and these are uncertain times. Other nations probably have their own etheric weaponry development programs underway. If we didn't pursue this research, we'd be falling behind. A new weapon is most useful as a deterrent. Having it in your back pocket means everyone else thinks twice before firing on you. I know Dr. Clark's had some moral reservations about the military applications of ethericity, but he's a professional through and through.
So, what's working with Dr. Clark like?
He's a brilliant man. I learn something new from him every day.
He seems short-tempered.
Well, yes, but that's just the genius mind, isn't it? No room left over for navigating social niceties.
I don't agree with that.
Can you tell me anything about General Laporte?
Not really. I know he's the one overseeing this project, but I've never had the opportunity to speak with him.
I appreciate the chat.
It's nice to have someone new to talk to.
Sure. Anyway, so we could charge a parcel here, but I still don't know what we're doing. I don't know what I have to, like, why do I have the cable from the toaster?
I've got nothing to ask him.
Could just leave, but I don't know why we would. No idea how to convince the doctor to leave. Let's see what happens if we go there. Maybe there's more stuff to look at. We didn't really get a chance because we were like escorted down there right away.
These crates are all marked Rosewater.
It's
Like
true.
the ones we saw on the wagon.
As we suspected. This confirms they were headed for Project Rosewater. Never seen a lamp glow green before.
It feels almost magical.
Almost.
There's a metal panel covering part of this contraption.
So we need like a screwdriver or something.
This contraption has a keypad instead of a slot. It must need a code.
Okay, we don't have a code. We can't talk to anyone because no one's out there.
Odd device. Looks like it's meant to be spoken into.
I don't think you should, though.
Seems to be the only way out of here. There's no way to open it manually. It's controlled by that lever.
Yeah, this is just not going to do anything.
Nothing.
Because we need the keypad code.
I have no idea what the code is.
Just guess it. Alright, I got nothing then.
Nothing to say.
All we have is this wire.
A couple of wires from that food heating device.
Or these wires. And that's about it. We can't mess with any of the ethericity stuff in there. We could charge a power cell quickly, I guess, but why would we? I mean, maybe Nadine can distract him again and I take one of the power cells and then we charge it quickly and then we shoot everyone.
Nothing to say, really. Not while Clark's around.
But how do I get rid of him?
Dr. Clark?
Yes, what is it?
You'd prefer your research be used to find new ways to kill people?
No, but
Look, I understand. You suffered a terrible setback after the expo. I'm sure it must have been hard. You probably felt like nobody would ever take you seriously again.
You have no idea.
I do know that if I were in your shoes, I'd have probably grabbed onto any lifeline. But I can tell your heart's not really in it. especially knowing what it is you're building.
Yes, well,
So you're gonna squander this opportunity to do some real good in the world because you're afraid of a stuffy old general?
you're right, Miss Leger. This isn't about me. This is about humanity. I'll come with you. But, oh goodness, how shall we? We need to do this discreetly. My assistants can't know what's going on. I'm
just
going to my
vaporize
quarters to
them.
settle some things. Excuse me.
Maybe just vaporize the systems and we're fine. No, we're not. That's not plan
Certainly have
A.
a way with words, Harley.
That's why I try and get paid for them.
Try and get paid is the, that's the issue there.
Locked, naturally.
It wasn't locked. She just opened it. I saw it.
Got it.
Okay.
I'm sure they won't miss just one power cell. Or maybe they will. Either way, I've got one now.
Are we taking the gun? I feel like that's too obvious because there's a window.
So this is Project Rosewater. Let's hope nobody notices this is missing.
Why would anyone notice, It's not like it's the whole point of the place.
Looks like some...
I would like to open the demented puzzle box, I really would.
It appears...
Not allowed though. Oh, the other guy's going too.
There's nowhere to plug the power cell in. I'll have to find a way to connect it to the generator.
Okay, that's what the wires are for, but I wanna... Are they both in there now? I just need to know where everyone is. Oh yeah, he's sleeping. Bottom bunk.
He's asleep. Best keep it that way. Can we talk?
I suppose so.
Exactly how do you go about calling the elevator?
We don't. None of us have the code.
So you're trapped down here? What if there's an emergency?
That's what the communication relay is for. We contact the guard upstairs, and he can take care of whatever we need.
That's
I appreciate...
It's nice to have someone new to talk to.
That's an issue. Man, if you had Phil around still. I miss Phil. Might have been my favorite character. Okay, I can't. Combine it first.
This seems like a good place to attach the wires.
Does it now? Yeah, just put the wires there, yes. What could go wrong?
Here we go. Hope this works. Wow, it charged up almost instantly. Locked and loaded. An etheric pistol, also known as Project Rosewater. It's loaded. I'd better be careful with this thing.
Yes. Yes. We're not a great shot, as evidenced by the one shooting thing we did in this game, so...
Ah, hello. I'm just leaving a note for my assistants.
Explaining why you're giving them the slip?
I feel I owe it to them.
That is one messy desk. What is it they say about desks and minds?
Not sure. I also have a messy desk.
Toolbox. Naturally, Clark would be a tinkerer.
Take a screwdriver.
Might I borrow your screwdriver, Dr. Clark?
By all means.
At least there's plenty of books down here. Who are those busts of?
Galileo, Copernicus, Da Vinci. 3 great men who changed the world as we know it.
Hoping to add your likeness to the collection someday?
Well, I wouldn't be opposed, if I'd earned it, of course.
Of course.
A ferrotype of a desert landscape. It's a ferrotype of Clark's old lab near Rosewater.
The one that got blown up mysteriously? Interesting. What are we gonna vaporize? I have some paper in mind. Well, one, I guess.
There we go.
No?
Interesting. This metal plate has several contact points.
Okay. Okay. Okay, wait. So one is here and here. Two is those two. Three is here and there. But are we trying to get all of them? Because that seems like a lot of them. I don't know how to like draw this. I don't know if I need to anyway. 3 is 5 by 3, yeah. Here and here. 1 was these two. Two was these two. Four. I guess I can just do this maybe. Wait, if I just do one of them, that's less space. Yes. 4, 4, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1. Five is this one. But like, how does this translate into a code? 6. Okay, now we're overlapped. No, we're still not overlapping. 6, 6. But then if I just press all of them, how is it a code, you know? Or is there... But I can't do them in order, because there's always like more than one happening. This is weird. I don't know what this puzzle is. I thought there would be overlapping ones, and you need to get like all of them. But these are just... Yeah, I don't know.
Guess I pressed too many.
Okay, 5 is too many? Okay, then I probably wanna have this.
A strange wooden card. Hang on. This configuration of holes looks an awful lot like the contacts on that metal plate.
Sure. So we want...
Well, how about that?
We want those two. So we want... This is 2. 3. 8 and 5.
Guess that wasn't the right code.
What? It is. Not the right sequence? Two, 3, 8, 5.
Guess that wasn't the right code.
2, 5, 3, 8.
Guess that wasn't the right code. Damn. There must be a way to figure out which buttons to press. The configuration of the piston seems to be the key. Haven't I seen something like this
I'm
recently?
pressing the right buttons, it's just not the right sequence somehow.
Guess that wasn't the right code.
But how do I, like, this is annoying to do. 5823?
Guess that wasn't the right code. Still not getting it. I wish this contraption just had a keycard slot like the one on the surface. I wonder.
I have the right 4 numbers, just not the sequence. Shut up. I don't know which number would be like relevant though. How do I know the sequence? There's no, it's just slots, like I don't know which one. I tried 2358, right?
Guess that wasn't the right code. Guess that wasn't the right code. There. That was it.
Because it did
I
lock
figured out the
into,
code.
sure.
The elevator's ready to be called.
Wonderful. Let's be going then.
Not just yet. I need to take care of the communications relay.
A what?
That contraption on the wall there. Clark said we need to disable it before we leave.
Did he? I don't remember him saying that.
Odd device. Looks like it's meant to be spoken into.
I don't think you should, though.
When did he say that?
Stand back. I'm taking this thing out.
But sure.
Whoa!
I thought the plan was to do this discreetly.
Desperate times and all that. Now come on, let's get out of here.
You're taking the prototype, I see. Wait, where did you get a charged power cell? We only charged one up, and we used it in the demonstration.
I hooked this one up to the etheric generator.
You what? That's incredibly dangerous. That kind of unfiltered surge would leave the power cell completely unstable. Unless it's discharged within the next, 20 minutes. It will explode.
Oh, we'll have to worry about that later. Let's get back topside before your assistants figure out what's going on.
If that power cell starts glowing white, you had better let me know quick.
And we already discharged more. We just shoot another shot at war and we're done. Like, it's discharged. I don't see the issue.
After you, Doctor.
Hold it right there.
Shouldn't you be cowering under your bed?
Shut up. Hand over your weapons and come with us. There's someone wants to see you.
Who?
Taking some air, Dr. Clark? Kindly stand over there if you would. You three, up against the wall.
The She had this funny pistol on her.
Ah, there it is. Can't let this fall into the wrong hands, can we?
You're gonna
Now,
explode.
have you got anything to say for yourself?
How did you know we were here?
I had you followed after our encounter at the Jolly Good Club. You thieves are all the same.
We are not thieves.
No, you raided my supply wagon, broke into my private room, took my key card from my safe, and stole my etheric pistol. If you're not thieves, you should consider taking it up. You're naturals.
We had no idea the wagon was yours. We were only trying to help the Autumn right a wrong done to them.
Friends to the savages, how noble. It's clear to me you've no idea what you've stepped into. So, who put you up to this?
It was Gentleman Jake. He was leading us on a search supposedly for Clark's lost fortune.
Lost fortune? Curious. Though I'd be rather shocked if he came up with that all on his own. We've chatted long enough.
No, I don't think so.
General, what are you doing?
Conducting my own test, Doctor. It's time to see if your prototype really works.
Not so fast, Laporte. I would strongly advise you not to fire that pistol.
And just who in blazes are you?
Timothy King, representing D.W. Shaw and Vespuccia Petrol.
Why have you come to this little summit?
Miss Leger and her companions were charged with delivering Dr. Clark to my employer. They are the company's responsibility. I'll have to insist you stop interfering with our agents and let them go.
You can't be serious.
I am.
Boys, take care of this louse.
Stand down, pendejo!
Well, we've got all kinds coming out of the woodwork tonight. And who might you be?
Lieutenant General Marisol de la Vega. You must be General Laporte.
Seems you new Spanish revolutionaries are much cleverer than I was led to believe.
General Marquez assigned me to trace the suspicious shipments of Aurum passing through Fort Beaumont. The trail led here. Where is General Marquez?
He didn't make it. He gave his life defending us from Laporte's hired thugs.
What? No, it cannot be.
I tried to save him, but he was too badly wounded. I'm so sorry.
Laporte sent the Blackburns to ambush us. He's responsible for Phil's death.
I gotta put a bullet in your head, Laporte.
Do so, and you'll receive one in kind. That goes for Mr. King as well.
What can be
It
both
would
of them?
seem we have reached an impasse.
I'm afraid the word impasse is not in my vocabulary.
He's gonna blow up soon, right?
You shoot and you'll just end up with 2 bullets in you.
I have faith in my men. They'll do what needs doing.
Aren't I entitled to some last words?
Yes, I suppose so. Go on, then.
I must say, of all the people I've met, you're the most unstable. Wouldn't you agree, Dr. Clark?
Oh, yes.
What?
General Laporte, there is something you need to know.
Now, Clark? Really?
I'm afraid it's quite important.
What then?
Well, you see, in my research, we uncovered some fascinating facts about the nature of ethericity. As it turns out, etheric particles, when agitated, enter a state of flux. They begin to dance, in a manner of speaking.
Yes, and...
Well, normally this isn't a problem, but if one were to, say, contain an excessive etheric charge in a small container, the particles would dance with an ever-growing intensity. They would continue this frantic movement until, after a certain amount of time, the harmonic resonances caused by the vibration of the particles would rapidly intensify, at which point, with no outlet, they would quite literally explode.
Are you saying you've discovered how to make an etheric bomb?
Yes. That would be more or less the long and short of it.
That is excellent news. Although this is a strange time to deliver it. You'll have to work it into the next phase of the project.
Well, as it turns out, I'm a bit ahead of schedule.
Oh?
Yes. An etheric bomb has already been developed.
Clark, you mad genius. I knew it was a wise decision to hire you. I can't wait to see this new weapon.
Oh dear.
Whoa!
Hands up, Coarte!
Nice going, Doctor.
That was... Oh my. I wasn't sure how much longer I could keep stalling.
Let's get off this rock, shall we?
We shall.
Thanks for your help back there, Lieutenant General.
You are welcome.
For what it's worth, I'm sure General Marquez would be proud to know you're leading the revolution now.
News of his death will be a great blow to morale, but we will carry on the fight in his name. He was an inspiration to us all. At the very least, the revolution can make use of the Aurum stored on the island, now that the man who conspired to steal it is dead.
Technically, that Aurum was government money and belongs to the people of Vespuccia. But as a citizen of this country, I say, have it, with my blessing. Viva la revolucion!
Gracias. We have a difficult path ahead of us, but I have hope.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Miss Leger.
We're back, ma'am.
I assume everything has been taken care of?
All loose ends have been tied.
Splendid. Send them in. You've no idea how pleased I am at your success. It's good to finally make your acquaintance, Doctor. I am D.W. Shaw.
The pleasure is all mine, madame.
We have much to discuss. First, I must conclude my business with Miss Leger and her companions.
Of course.
You've been through a great deal. I cannot thank you enough.
We were almost killed, you know.
I imagined it would be a dangerous undertaking. Yet here you stand before me. I won't keep you any longer. Here is your payment. Mr. Ackerman was promised 25,000, but considering all your trouble, I've increased it to 27. I'm sure you'll find it easier to divide.
Thank you, Mrs. Shaw.
Pleasure doing business with you. Before you go, I made some inquiries and learned a few rather compelling things about General Laporte. I could share the information if you like.
Go on, then.
It seems General Laporte was a staunch supporter of Mr. Atwood's trade party. Quite vocal about his desire for the advancement of steam tech and etheric research. There were also rumors that he held some more controversial opinions regarding this country's sovereignty.
He was a separatist?
Apparently so.
You think Project Rosewater was meant to arm some kind of etheric revolution?
I am merely relaying the information I've learned. Anything beyond that is pure speculation. The only person with knowledge of Laporte's motives is the man himself.
And that information died with him. Well, with him gone and the prototype pistol destroyed, whatever plans he had can't come to fruition.
For now, yes. But I can tell you one thing about this world. It is rare that one accomplishes anything of note alone.
We should get back to our hotel. It's been a long night.
Indeed. Goodbye, Miss Leger. I hope you and your friends enjoy the rest of your time in El Presidio.
And thank you, Miss Leger. I appreciate your facilitating this new opportunity.
Best of luck to you, Dr. Clark. This was all very enlightening.
Indeed.
So, what are you two planning on doing next?
I'm honestly not sure. But I think I will apply for a medical license after all.
You should.
I may go back to the San Bernardo Valley, or I may stay here on the coast. It's something I'll have to discuss with Lola.
What about you, Danny?
I'm not really sure. Suppose it wouldn't be such a bad idea to visit my folks. It's been too long. After that, guess I've got to find a new line of work.
What about you, Harley?
Suppose I'll head back to Rosewater. I've got an article to write after all.
And I guess this is goodbye.
This is where we part ways, for now. But you know where to find me. And you can be damn sure I'll write back.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Lola, Nadine was just talking about you.
Thought I felt my ears ringing. Anyways, I'm heading back to Rosewater. Wanted to see if you needed a lift.
We're heading back already?
Sure, but just for a few days. We'll set out again after that. Anywhere you like.
You ever for a moment consider just slowing down a tad?
Never. Say your farewells and let's go.
See you around, Danny. It was a real pleasure traveling with you.
So long.
Goodbye, and good luck.
Okay, very abrupt. Sometime later. Do we learn what happened to them now, maybe? Or the window's fixed.
I'm back.
Well, look what the cat dragged in.
Did I miss anything while I was gone?
Let's see. There was a dust devil by the saloon that nearly knocked Sheriff Gamble's hat off.
Front page news, then.
Seriously, though, I spoke with the leader of the Autumn. She gave me some good stuff. The article runs next week. What of your great adventure?
Concluded now. But I've got plenty of material for an article. Maybe even 5.
And you'd best get to it. Better to jot everything down while it's still fresh.
Right you are, boss.
Okay, sure.
They say the end of every journey marks the beginning of another. If there's any truth to that, this writer hopes the next one is decidedly duller. My companions and I set out from Rosewater and traveled across the Vespuccian frontier, encountering bandits, rebels, visionaries, eccentrics, and many more friends and foes. We were led to believe that our quest was for Dr. Bennett Clark's missing fortune, but as it turned out, we were on the trail of the very man himself. The following is an account of that journey, with no detail spared, no fact left unrelated. And so at the journey's end, you may ask yourself, dear reader, what of the main players in this saga? Danny went home to a happy reunion with his parents. He says
nice.
He's hung up his pistols and retired from gunslinging, with the intent of pursuing a culinary career.
That makes sense.
I said I'd be a regular if he ever opened a restaurant. I shall have to honor that promise should it come to pass. Nadine Redbird has begun the process of obtaining her medical license. She tells me she plans to convert Lola Johnson's wagon into a kind of mobile clinic.
It's a good idea.
Traveling the frontier, helping those in need. It will be a welcome change from the usual traveling merchants hawking miracle cures. I can think of no one more qualified to dispense medical care. As for Miss Johnson, this new business venture will hopefully be more to her liking. At the very least, she now sets her own course, rather than bending to the whims of her clients. Miss Johnson truly opened up and offered me her friendship, for which I am ever grateful. I am truly happy that she and Nadine have found each other. I would be remiss to neglect mentioning our dearly departed friend. Phil Marquez was a great man. He was always true to himself, cared for those around him, and was just plain fun to be around. I will forever cherish the time I had with him, and I will carry his memory in my heart for the rest of my days. Of course, I must acknowledge the catalyst for this grand adventure, Gentleman Jake Ackerman, albeit with some trepidation. For while it's true that he set this whole adventure in motion, it is my unpleasant duty to inform you, dear readers, that Mr. Ackerman is nothing more than a fraud. Far from the brave and noble hero he purports to be, Jake showed his true colors in a moment of danger. We found ourselves ambushed by Blackburn agents. Jake disgracefully turned and fled, leaving us to face the ruthless barbarians on our own. I have not heard from him since, nor would I wish to. As far as I'm concerned, he could be dead in a ditch or drowned in cheap whiskey in some dark saloon corner. The sooner this fallen star fades from our collective memories, the better we can all sleep.
Harsh.
As for Dr. Clark, he seems happy in his new employment at Vespuccia Petrol. I can only hope his contributions to Mrs. Shaw's enterprise offer greater balm to the restless, inventive mind than the manufacture of apocalyptic weaponry. That, dear readers, is the long and the short of it. This was an adventure unlike any other I've been on. I doubt any other will ever compare.
Probably not.
My hand hurts. We'll see what Joni has to say about this in the morning. Well, what do you think?
You want my honest opinion?
Sure.
Yes, of course I do.
It's good. Very good. It's great, actually. There's just no way on God's green earth we can print this.
Why not?
Secret underground laboratories, government conspiracies, special projects to develop etheric weapons. No one will believe a word of it. Not to mention you name some very powerful and important people who'd have me locked up for libel with a snap of a finger.
It's not libel though, it's true.
It's all true, Joni. I'm not in the habit of writing fiction.
Perhaps you should be.
Come again?
This story's got everything. Adventure, mad scientists, conspiracies, betrayals. Folk could pay through the nose to read this. If it were a novel.
Novel?
Sure. All you have to do is change the names, do a little narrative restructuring. You can even say it's based on actual events. That way we're off the hook if anyone's feathers get ruffled. What do you think?
A whole book, huh?
Trust me, I have a nose for these things. This one smells like a hit. You're sitting on a pile of aurum.
All right. I'll do it.
Excellent. Now all we need's a title.
That's your job, isn't it?
Suppose it is. It needs to be something catchy. Something simple yet evocative.
Rosewater.
Something like...
A tale of adventure and camaraderie on the western frontier. I had a good time with this. The story is really like nice. I like the characters. The voice acting is good throughout. I'm pretty sure, yeah, there are definitely some repeat voice actors, but it's fine. Tarot card illustrations. There are tarot cards. Anyway, again, yeah, thank you, Application Systems Heidelberg, for the key.
Sin tu amor, flor silvestre. Si los días no me pertenecen, desde que crucé tu jardín. Si tu aroma mi alma carece, pierdo el deseo de vivir. Y cuando volveré, a mis brazos tenerte. Si estando libre tú eres feliz, cuando nadie tu paso
Both women, it's a
detiene.
good name.
La distancia no se compadece de estos ojos que sufren por ti. Y vivo la ilusión de que un día regreses.
So not a legit German accent then. Melissa Medina.
Que no hay vida sin mí.
I mean, it didn't sound legit.
Dime que me haré sin tu amor, flor silvestre.
They could have been, yeah, overdone on purpose, obviously, yeah.
Si los días no me pertenecen, desde que crucé tu jardín. Si tu aroma mi alma carece, pierdo el deseo de vivir.
Alright, yeah. So, I did struggle a bit to find my groove by recording this, but I think I got there. And I did really appreciate the story. It's like, I don't know how many different outcomes there are, you know. For Sylvester, written and composed by Cristian Ramirez, is a good song. Definitely a good song. Anyway. Always so many Kevin MacLeod songs. There's so many of those in games and other like projects. It's crazy. It's like a name that always pops up, I feel like, with like kind of indie stuff anyway. That makes sense. Does make sense. German localization makes sense with the publisher. Whole slew of Davies testing, nice. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. Yeah, I do wonder how many different like outcomes there are. How different the. I feel like we got good outcomes for both Danny and Nadine and also for Lola. So that's nice. And Lisa Lou, I suppose. But then, yeah, the Jake and the Phil outcomes are maybe not ideal. It feels like there's gotta be a better way for that to play out, right? But who knows? New York City. What's New York City called? Is it New York City Lamplight City? I'm not sure. No AI was used in the making of this game. That's good. Bonus content unlocked in the settings menu. Interesting, interesting. Anyway, and there were some really beautiful scenes, like the sunset or sunrise, I guess it was, at the end there. You know, New Game Plus. I don't know. Yeah, it's not. I'm not gonna do it for YouTube anyway. But yeah, I had a really good time with Rosewater. It's a good story, and I am curious to see how else things could play out. Definitely interested, but yeah, because there were some, you know, like obviously we could have had the medicine kit at the end. These are the guns that would have changed the outcome with the guard. Then there, if we I don't know if we can have more people alive, but I assume, or with us, then maybe someone would have stayed up top. Then maybe you don't have to do that puzzle. I don't know. And then like you could probably let the post office burn down, or I don't know. Maybe the circus conflict could go differently. You might be able to screw it up badly enough for him to get shot, or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, lots of options there anyway. Interesting, interesting for sure. But yeah, that's it for Rosewater. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon with something else, something new, maybe something old. We'll see. But that's it. Bye bye.